I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. A Bunnell man faces murder charges in the beating death of his neighbor last year. 25-year-old Johnny Thomas Jr. is accused of killing 60-year-old Robert Emanuel by striking him in the head with an unknown object in a home invasion. Emanuel died nearly 2 months after the attack inside his Bunnell apartment from what the medical examiner described as blunt force trauma. Thomas Jr. is scheduled to be arraigned on second-degree murder charges on December 10th. He's been behind bars on federal drug charges since December of last year, nabbed in a multi-jurisdictional effort dubbed Operation Heat Seeker. The assistant state attorney blames the federal case as the reason for a delay in the local case.
This portion of Flagler's Morning News is brought to you by the Daytona Beach International Airport. Save time, money, and stress. The Daytona Beach International Airport, it's just plain easy.
A teen is seriously injured while riding his bike. Tony Magoo reports.
William Burnett, a 15-year-old Palm Coast boy, was badly injured while riding his bicycle late Saturday night in a collision with a pickup truck at a Palm Coast gas station. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, Burnett rode into the parking lot of the Shell gas station at 890 Palm Coast Parkway, while Richard Bradley, a 31-year-old Palm Coast resident, was at the wheel of a 2020 Chevy Silverado going at about 5 to 10 miles per hour in that same parking lot. Burnett did not see Bradley's Silverado and rode straight into the truck, throwing him to the ground. Burnett was not wearing a helmet. The Palm Coast Fire Department and Flagler County Fire Rescue responded, as did the Palm Coast Fire Police. Burnett was transported by ground to Halifax Hospital in Daytona Beach. His injuries were listed as serious but not life-threatening. Florida Highway Patrol says charges are pending. However, alcohol was not a factor in the accident. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
A Palm Coast man is behind bars after police say he caused a crash trying to flee the scene of a Home Depot robbery. Deputies say Jonathan DiMartino crashed his truck full of stolen merchandise into another vehicle at Palm Coast and Pine Lakes Parkways Saturday afternoon. Deputies say he then fled the scene of the crash, with witnesses calling 911 to say he was driving crazy and speeding. The driver of the vehicle he struck suffered minor neck and back injuries, according to deputies. DiMartino was later arrested at his home and charged with leaving the scene of a crash, causing damage and injury.
The Bunnell City Commission and its new city manager, Alvin Jackson, will start looking to the future on December 5th.
Jackson said that he and the board will establish 5 to 6 strategic priorities, identifying projects and services that need to happen in the city of Bunnell.
Many of those projects will go into our capital improvement plan, which is 5, 10-year, 20-year plans. And then we set out a funding strategy for those projects.
Jackson said that after all that's happened, Bunnell could go to the state and the federal governments and other sources for funding. He said the city would show how and why a specific project is a priority. Jackson said the city would also have to show the cost, the city's contribution, and what would be needed from other sources. In the WNZF newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
Flagler County is hosting a ribbon cutting and open house for its new Eco Cottages at Princess Place Preserve this morning. John Arking has the details.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, through a contractual agreement with the Florida Coastal Office of the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, authorized $330,000 for the cottages and another $16,000 for research microcosms, or outdoor experimental areas. Flagler County Public Information Officer Julie Murphy.
Will be used to welcome scientists and researchers from around the country and around from the world who want to study our pristine waterways there, but also they will be available to the public to rent these facilities. They're really stunning. They're 1,000 square foot. One of them is ADA accessible. They're fully appointed. All the furniture, kitchen is all set up.
Flagler County contributed $120,000 in-kind value through labor, cash, equipment, and construction oversight, as well as an estimated $100,000 land value for the property on which they sit. From the WNZF newsroom, I'm John Arking.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.